My dear students, in this class, let us learn about the general characters of Nematyhelminthes. The phylum Nematyhelminthes is also known as Aschelminthes, and these are commonly called nematode parasites. And all the members of Nematyhelminthes are undoubtedly parasites. They may live as parasites within the body of an animal and also within plants. So there are both plant and animal parasites within this phylum, namely Nematyhelminthes. And these are triploblastic in nature. They exhibit bilateral symmetry, and the digestive tract at the gut is one way gut. That means there is a separate opening for both ingestion and egestion. The food material is devoured or food material is consumed through mouth, and it is being adjusted through anus or cloaca. Because there are two separate openings, the gut is called one way gut. And the body is cylindrical. The body of this nematodes is cylindrical, and inside this cylindrical tube like body, even the digestive tract looks like a tube. As a result, this arrangement is called tube in tube arrangement. So tube in tube body plan is exhibited by nematodes or Nematyhelminthes. Of course, this tube in tube body plan is also repeated, or it is again experienced in case of annelids also. But for the time being, you remember that this tube in tube arrangement is seen in case of nematodes. This is, of course, the picture of Nematyhelminthes. The diagram that you are seeing in this slide belongs to Ascaris lumbricoides. So let me repeat, nematodes are triploblastic in nature, they are bilaterally symmetrical, and the gut is one way gut and it exhibits tube in tube arrangement, and these are pseudocoelomates. Nematodes are pseudocoelomates because the coelom in nematodes is not lined by mesoderm. If the coelom is not lined by mesoderm, such a coelom is called pseudocoelom, and the fluid that is present inside this pseudocoelom is called pseudocoelomic fluid. And if you observe the body of nematodes, male is slightly shorter when compared to female. The posterior end of the male is coiled, whereas the posterior end of the female is straight. That means by seeing the external characters, the sexes can be easily identified. This is called sexual dimorphism. Let me repeat, sexual dimorphism is a condition where male and female organisms can be differentiated by seeing external characters. In case of one nematode or in case of Ascaris lumbricoides, the male is shorter and its posterior end is curved, and the female is longer and its posterior end is straight. And the body of these nematode parasites, because these are intestinal parasites, there is every possibility of these parasites from getting digested by the action of intestinal juice. To prevent the action of these intestinal juices, or to prevent these nematode parasites from getting digested by the action of intestinal juice, they have developed collagenous cuticle, which is a unique character. And in nematoda, there is one specialized cell called Rennetti cell or Rennetti gland, which is excretory in nature. And there are amphids and phasmids. Amphids are the chemoreceptors that are present at the anterior side. Phasmids are the glandulosensory structures that are present on the posterior side. Based on the presence of phasmids, the Nematyhelminthes phylum is classified into Phasmida and Aphasmida. That means the basis for classification of Nematyhelminthes is presence and absence of phasmids. Let me repeat, amphids are anterior in position and they are the chemoreceptors. Phasmids are posterior in position and they are glandulosensory in nature. Based on the presence and absence of phasmids, the classification is done for Nematyhelminthes. If phasmids are present, it is called Phasmida, and if phasmids are absent, that is called Aphasmida. And pineal spicules are present on both sides of the cloaca. Pineal spicules may be equal in size or unequal in size. Pineal spicules are responsible for clutching the female during the process of copulation and also for transferring the spermatozoa into the vulva or vagina of the female nematode parasite. And the characteristic number of moltings in nematodes is 4. Take any nematode parasite, it has to undergo 4 moltings. And development is indirect, it includes various diversified larval stages. In case of Ascaris lumbricoides, the larva is called rhabditiform larva, and in case of Wuchereria bancrophiti, the larva is called microfilaria larva. And there is one specialized character called uteli exhibited by nematodes. In nematodes, the number of body cells except the cells in gonads remains constant once the nematode reaches the adulthood. That means once the nematode parasite or nematode achieves or reaches or attains adulthood, the number of cells will not vary. The number of cells will not increase or decrease. This fixed number of cells or this condition where the number of cells is fixed and the fate of each and every cell is sealed is called uteli. And further increase in the body size of the nematode parasites is due to hypertrophy. That means due to increase in the size of the cell, not due to increase in the number of the cell. That means all the nematodes exhibit uteli where the number of cells remains stagnant or remains fixed once these parasites reach the adulthood. So that is about the general characters of Nematyhelminthes. Amphids are chemoreceptors, as I already told, and phasmids are glandulosensory structures. And here I give the examples of ephasmida, namely trichinella, which is also called trichina worm, and trichiuris, which is also called whipworm. And under phasmida, many common parasites are included. Ascaris lumbricoides, which is common roundworm, Ankylostoma duodenale, which is called hookworm, Enterobius vermicularis, which is also called pinworm, Wuchereria bancrophiti, which is called filarial worm. So this is about the general characters and the classification of Nematyhelminthes or Ascalminthes. Thank you very much.